Hello, and welcome to 20 Lore Pro, a community of Lorcana players who enjoy deck building, competing, and opening Lorcana product. You can find out more at our Discord community, 20LorePro/Discord, link in the description, where we have tons of deck lists, deck discussions, and upcoming events like this past weekend's 1K Lorcana tournament, hosted by Crimson Lion Games. In today's video, you'll be watching Round 5, Steven piloting Amethyst Ruby Spellbook versus Aaron piloting Amber Amethyst Bounce. Wish our competitors luck and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to round 5 of our Swiss Crimson Lion Games 1K Lorcana tournament. I'm your announcer, SirAshtown, and we're entering into round 5, game 1. Aaron piloting Amethyst Amber versus Steven piloting Ruby Amethyst. See a turn 1 Lilo from Aaron. A very quick play that we've seen time and time again really go out of hand fast if they're able to get more of these 1-drops for 2 lore down. Steven, though, having that answer of that 3/3 Madamim Snake that can just prevent people from being able to lore. That's part of the reason why these decks, these Ruby Amethyst decks, are so strong. Just being able to have that Madamim Snake on that turn 2 can really help protect things. If they're able to get down any type of 1-drop like they did in this match with the Mini Mouse, followed by that Snake, it's just such a great protection. We see that Madamim Fox coming down, dealing damage. Aaron inking and playing that Arthur. I personally always have a hard time trying to decide when the best time to play Arthur is, whether or not I want something on board to bounce, or if I just play him out, run him out there by himself. In this case, Aaron opts to run him out there by himself, possibly being able to ink and then pop that character back to his hand to gain the extra lore. Steven playing that Madamim Fox to get the lore, with the rabbit to draw. Aaron inks. Deciding on what to play. So many options. Looks like a goat comes down, Merlin goat. And this is a great situation for him if he decides to lore with that Arthur. Be able to bounce that thing back to hand would be great, but he chooses to save it that way it doesn't die to that Madamim Fox. That Madamim Fox being a 4/3, very powerful against these smaller creatures like this Arthur. Merlin Goat able to gain that 1 lore when it ETBs and leaves. Madamim Fox coming to play, bouncing that rabbit. That rabbit, when it ETBs, gains you a card, and when it leaves. Playing a Maleficent, drawing him a card. Decides to pass the turn. Doesn't use that Madamim Fox to gain any lore. See another Arthur in Aaron's hand. Looks like he's trying to count, trying to figure out how much lore he's going to gain if he does all this. Uses that goat to gain a lore. Might see some return action with this Arthur. Again, so many of these bounce decks using this Arthur to really gain so much lore. And you're able to replay it, normally gaining you so much. Uses that Madamim Fox to bounce the goat that had just tapped for lore back to hand, getting him a lore, playing a Pinocchio down. This is the Pinocchio that is the in many aggro lists that lures for 3. Being able to protect it via bouncing by Arthur can be great, but we see a Teeth and Ambition here that cleans up that Pinocchio. Steven opting to... Oh, let's see here. Making a decision. He decides to ink instead of playing that Minnie Mouse. Another Minnie Mouse in hand, though, that may come handy. Followed by Lady Tremaine, trying to pick up any cards that Aaron might use to bounce. Oh, and with that, he decides to scoop it up.
just couldn't have the play advantage on the board to try to return, so he decides that it's better just to go to game 2. I like to play out matches a little longer than I think I should, which sometimes takes up my time in the play clock. But Aaron decides that at this point in the match, it's better for him to give his opponent Steven the game 1. That way he can just rush and try to aggro into game 2. The Pinocchio being such a strong card, 1/1 with lore 3. If you're able to use that Arthur to bounce it back up, you just gain so much lore off of those 2 cards together. It's so hard for him to decide whether or not he wanted to lore or if he wanted to face and fight this Metamim snake. As we enter into round 5, game 2, I want to thank everyone for coming out today for the Crimson Lion Games Lorcana 1K, hosted by 20lore.pro. Feel free to continue to watch us here on Twitch, but we also have a Discord community, 20lore.pro/Discord, where we talk deck discussions, deck events, deck lists, as well as upcoming events that are happening. Feel free to also go over to our YouTube channel where we have tons of booster box challenges, booster box openings, deck discussions, and upcoming videos like today's Twitch 1K tournament. We'll have this VOD split up into multiple round videos for you to watch at your leisure. Again, thank you everyone on Twitch for coming. We really enjoy having y'all here. If you weren't able to make today's event due to any circumstances, we hope that you are well, and we hope that next time you're able to join us, whether in person or via online. Here we go as we head into round 5, game 2. Aaron starts us off. Playing Yzma on his turn 2. Steven not having any turn 1 or 2 plays. Staring down this Yzma, which for many people they haven't seen, but it can shift into this big Yzma very easily. But the small Yzma, able to really loot, give you some good advantage to what you're going to see coming next. Into a Maleficent, allowing him to draw cards. So far, Steven's got nothing on board. Let's see if he can get a strong turn 3 play. Follows his own Maleficent, able to draw, try to get some card resources. This is the turn. Choosing to use that Yzma to Aaron's advantage. I've said this before many times, but I love this Maleficent. Draw you a card and then using it to cast that Friends on the other side. Really gains you just so much card advantage when you're able to use those cards like that to draw so much. Looks like the two are discussing. Looks like Steven had accidentally pressed the game 2 win, but this is Steven's up 1 game to this is game 2 of 3. Sometimes those buttons are a little close to each other. Aaron getting out that Arthur with so many bounce targets, including this Lilo. Part of the strategy is being able to bounce just these smaller low drop creatures after they lure for a lot, and then being able to recast them so you protect them from Metamim Snake or any of the cards that really Ruby Amethyst want to get rid of. That way they can gain some advantage. Steven coming in with that Madam M Fox. Decides to take out Maleficent. You just hate to see these Disney villains go against each other. Aaron's picking up his draw. Deciding to trade that Yuzuma into that Madam M Fox. We'll see if Aaron decides to do that strategy that I had mentioned earlier of luring with Lilo and then bouncing it with Arthur. That way they can gain so much lore. I believe it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, what a turn for Aaron, playing 2 Lilos into 2 Maleficents. This could be just so much lore in one turn, especially at this point in the game when Steven does not have the ink available to play Be Prepared and have a clean slate on the board. Steven staring down 8, 9, 10, 11 lore, depending on if he uses Arthur. Aaron gaining 8 lore up to 15. That is game. Steven looks at the board state and says that he cannot recover and wants to save time going into game number 3. What a great game 2 that was as we enter into game 3. I want to thank y'all again today for joining. We've updated the game count for y'all, that way you know who has 1-1. We're entering into game 3. Saw a strong, aggressive play by Aaron, playing those 2 Maleficents and 2 Lilos. When you get these 2 1-drops at lore for 2, it just take over. Thank y'all again for coming in to our Twitch video watching Crimson Lion Games 1K Lorcana Tournament, Round 5, Game number 3. We're hosted today by 20lore.pro. Check us out at 20lore.pro/Discord. We have tons of deck discussions, deck lists, and tournaments that are upcoming. Today our head judge is Stunning Rob, with our producer being Luxac, and I, your announcer, SirAshtown. Entering into game 3, Steven leads us off with a Minnie Mouse. Been talking to several people in the 20lore.pro Discord about whether or not someday we'll get more shift minis. These minis, there's just so many of them out there, and having more shift minis as targets would be great. I have the one that's up there right now from chapter 2 that we've seen. We see a Teeth and Ambitions used on that Minnie Mouse to take out that Maleficent. It's part of the reason why these Ruby Amethyst deck play that card, is because they have so many of these 1/3 characters that can just take those hits and be able to take out those small lore drop creatures. Aaron with the turn 2 Simba would have been a great opportunity to protect that Maleficent if it would have been able to stick on the play longer, but Teeth and Ambitions does just that. It shows its teeth. Steven taking his turn 3. Playing a Maleficent, that way he can get some card advantage up there. Using that mini to try gain a little bit of lore. We see Simba tapping down, using that Maleficent, like we said earlier, to sing that Friends on the Other Side. Love that play, using that Maleficent to draw you 1 card, and then Friends on the Other Side to draw you 2 more, totaling you 3 cards altogether. Using that Madam M Fox to finish off that Simba. Aaron's turn. Using his Maleficent to follow the same example from Steven, casting Friends on the Other Side. This Madam M Fox being so strong as a 4/3. Just having the ability to rush into play and just take out whatever little tiny character is out there gives it such a great advantage for being played. Aaron, saying the same thing, decides to take out Steven's Madam M Fox. Followed up by a Pascal. Steven, playing his Minnie Mouse, allows him to be able to have his Pascal gain evasive. Aaron trying to draw more cards. Inks Pascal. See if we'll have a follow-up. Yeah, now that his Pascal has gained evasive, he decides not to give his opponent any more advantage. He plays his 2 other Maleficents, little tiny one, the 1/1/1 for 2 lore. Sad to hear that several local players here at Crimson Lion Games had to drop out or not be able to come to the tournament due to illnesses or surgery. We want to wish y'all a quick recovery and hope that you're able to return back to playing. Until then, we hope that you enjoy today's coverage for the tournament and seeing your friends and local competitors play. We want to wish you all the best, especially in this Christmas season. You see a Simba coming down that has really good bodyguard for these tiny little 1/1s. Gaining tons of lore. You see another mini mouse from Steven. He's got 2 of these evasive mouses that gain 2 lore each. This mini mouse has been seeing more and more play lately as lots of decks are having a hard time deal with a 1/3 evasive. Appreciate everyone coming out today, watching the stream. It's always a pleasure to be able to watch friends play and enjoy just seeing your play group really compete at this level for a 1K tournament. Thank y'all for joining in and watching us. Thinking about what to play next. Apologize for switching between the game counters, trying to fix these counts. See Steven loving that Maleficent. Using that Arthur to bounce cards back and forth to gain more lore. See that Merlin goat got a little bit of damage on it. Using that teeth and ambition. Trying to think of how to get out of this situation. Looks like Steven's got a couple cards in hand, but one appears to be Spellbook and the other appears to be maybe a Madam Mim Snake. Spellbook, so good late game like this. So many players opting to play even the full package of the 4 Minnie Mouses, the 8 Minnie Mouses, along with the Spellbook. Lots of lore that's hard to deal with, evasive, and an item. That's why many steel decks are using Binja to try to combat all these Paw Control or Sleepy's Flute or Sorcerer Spellbook decks. Bouncing that goat, gaining him an extra lore. Steven plays Madam Mim Snake. Aaron counting up the total, looking down at these Minnie Mouses with evasive, gaining 2 lore a turn, trying to figure out his best option on how he can gain lore and close out this game. Even if he's with his ability to use these Maleficents to gain 1 lore each, putting him up to 14. Good lore with Arthur, getting him up to 15, bouncing a character, 18. That doesn't quite close out the game. With Steven looking at 6 lore possibly next turn. He's trying to think of a way out. I think we saw a Friends on the Other Side in hand. Aaron really thinking about this. He has to figure out a way to either get rid of one of these Minnie Mouses or defeat this snake in some way. He's got the goat. Goes up to 13 with the goat. Lures with the Maleficents. He's gaining as much as he can. I think he's going to get up to 19. What a close game this has been. If he had 1 more ink to replay that goat, that would have been it. And they shake hands, Steven taking it 20-19. What a great round 5 from these competitors going to game 3 between Steven's Ruby Amethyst and Aaron's Amethyst Amber. Really love seeing these different colors be played with the Amethyst Amber deck. We've seen plenty of different types of Ruby Amethyst, but always a pleasure to see something else on the table. With just the game 2 really aggroed out by Aaron, seeing those 2 Lilos get dropped and the 2 Maleficents, just really fast turns. You just never know when these types of decks will just run away with the game. If Ruby Amethyst isn't able to work its way up to be prepared, it can sometimes be impossible for them to outmatch the aggro decks. I want to thank everyone again for joining us for today's stream. We're at the Crimson Lion Games Lorcana 1K here in Texas, hosted by 20lore.pro. You can check us out at 20lore.pro/Discord, where we have a Discord community with lots of deck lists, deck discussions, and upcoming events. You can also check out any of the rounds that you may have missed later on in the middle of the week on our YouTube channel at 20 Lore Pro. We want to thank everyone for coming out today, and for our head judge, Stunning Rob, our producer, Luxac, and I'm your announcer, SirAshtown. Thank you all so much, and we'll catch y'all for top 8 here in just a little bit.
Thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for the rest of the tournament rounds and other Lorcana related videos. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.